lion is obviously pissed about something, and I can only assume that being stuck in this logo for several decades has something to do with it. Release that pussy and let it breathe, you bastards! Okay, I can't play the music here, but these opening credits, both resembling a player piano's paper score and also resembling a city skyline? Chef's kiss! The producers paid for this helicopter for the aerial shots, and they were determined to get their money's worth. Back when this movie came out, this aerial footage showed a bustling and speedy New York City. And it's amazing how much we move the goalposts on our own selves as time goes by, because every New Yorker alive today would love to go back to this if it were possible, but it's not possible. So we all die sad and disappointed. The end. You. Google Earth, the movie. The Tough Guys Club is sitting over here in colorful attire, snapping their fingers in unison. In 2021, they'd all be in the same shade of mauve, while Pitch Perfecting DJ Shadow and Run the Jewels Nobody Speak. Picture this, I'm a bag of dicks. These Thanos wannabe munches seriously think that snapping is an actual intimidating tactic. What the hell is this poor little girl drawing? A dimensional portal in a desperate attempt to escape this corny-ass opening? Playing sports while wearing jeans. The working title for this movie was Top Gun Origins Iceman. Did the auditions for this film include snapping? Or did the studio have snapping specialists to do Foley work? Also, when someone does Foley work for the actor Dave Foley, is that person considered a Foley? A Foley squared? It is apparently summer in New York City and everyone is overdressed. These three, for instance, are all wearing long pants, and middle guy from White Christmas is wearing a long sleeve shirt on top of a t-shirt. For all the bravado and machismo on display here, it's very clear that these uber-masculine assholes have never properly executed even the smallest tenet of the triangle offense. Starting when you are outnumbered 11-5. Holy shit! That hit the jet guy? He's a good 20 feet away, if not more. And it hit him on the neck. That's an impossible distance, man. He's even better at expectorating than Gaston. Also, I realize why this movie is so long now. The film's opening takes 12 minutes to tell what should have been a 50-second story. Two rival gangs keep bumping into each other in 1960s New York City. It matches the beat, but snapping like this is only going to get you discovered by your rivals. Geez, Al, you think you may have oversaturated the market here for your campaign? I know you want to get the message out, but this is a ridiculous amount of signage. Even Charles Foster Kane would think this is overkill. I know they're in a trash pile, but how do they find this specific produce? And why does it look so fresh? Why are there restaurants in this neighborhood throwing out perfectly ripe tomatoes and heads of lettuce? Here, an entire brawl breaks out just because one guy yelled Jets. And for all we know, he was in the wrong. And he was, and we do know it because we saw him trying to tag shark territory with shark stink. So he kind of deserves a bit of punishment, no? This play melee be cray-cray.
You want to kill each other? Kill each other. But you ain't gonna do it at my beat.
Divorce mediation.
Would you mind translating that into Spanish?
Much has been written far more eloquently than I can about the icky ways this movie portrays the Puerto Rican population in New York, especially considering they were almost all played by white actors. So I'll summarize this by adding 30 sins, and we'll just say they're for this makeup.
We're gonna do it in one all-out fight. A rumble!
Wrestling has taught me that a rumble, even a royal one, rarely settles the debate on who is champion for very long.
If they say blades, I say blades. If they say guns, I say guns!
Well, golly gee, boss, what if they say foam swords meant for LARPing? Or, even worse, water guns? This asshole is finally singing about what it means to be a jet, and I'm convinced the movie can't make up its mind about if it is or isn't a musical. Hell, the first 5 minutes were all show tunes, then this got brawly and talky as ass for the last 15. Pick a lane, Best Picture Oscar winner from 1961. Jokes aside, this is a song about loyalty, and how it lasts forever, and it's well-meaning but flawed. But I think the movie even knows that, and I don't want to give the movie that kind of credit, so I'm just going to send this for the general greasiness. This is the third time someone has thrown this soda bottle around in this scene, and that's just poor pop management, damn it. This should explode all over Tony when he opens it.
I never asked nothing from nobody.
Street slang notwithstanding, the use of double negatives can and should lead to massive confusion, and you'd think the leader of a gang would understand how to communicate more effectively.
I already told the guys you'd be there. If you don't show, I'll be marked lousy.
You should have lied then, face. He resisted going to the dance because he had to work, but here he is, setting his work down so that he can sing and ponder the possibilities of the future. But also, how can this guy's job be carry the soda pop crates downstairs one at a time, and there are no possible thieves lurking around? Yeah, he's talking to Riff, but he doesn't talk to Riff every day here and now, and yet the job seems to be bring the crates down one by one. Also, what's with Tony? Are his arms weak? Why can he only carry one crate at a time like some kind of shark loser? Also, what a product placement. Tony carrying Coke? This is like Kevin Costner giving a Coke to the natives in Dances with Wolves. Like Jesus drinking a Coke in The Last Temptation of Christ. God, is this product placement the reason Coke has dominated over Pepsi for decades and decades? Discuss amongst yourselves. Not only did they bother to paint this wrought iron, they did a terrible job. Why paint wrought iron at all? Not like they're trying to attract attention to the business for new customers. This is in the f***ing alleyway. He's saying something's coming, and I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be great. And mostly I'm feeling like, citation needed. You can't just just will your life to get better. Weird that none of these nearby windows feature people who can hear his singing, whether they are amused or annoyed by it. While he sings about a feeling in the air, I can't help wondering who the poor saps are that end up paying full price for these soda pops that are just hanging out in the dingy alley while he gets his song rocks off.
1 inch. How much can 1 little inch do?
I was in the pool!
Come in, Chino. Do not be afraid.
But this is a shop for ladies.
This f***ing guy.
You will keep both eyes on Maria tonight in case I cannot.
How do you solve a problem like Maria? Oops. Sorry, wrong musical. Still, the sin is that Maria is considered a problem at this point in the movie and needs constant observation because, you know, she's all womany and shit. Somebody come quick! She's twirling in Technicolor! Also, whoa, no one told me that I was supposed to take drugs at some point earlier in the movie. Damn it! Now he has to start all over again. Why are they holding a dance in a room the size of a small college classroom? They had all that money for the fancy aerial photography, but they couldn't rent a proper dance hall? Who could ever play basketball in a gym this tiny?
Leonardo.
Why did the band stop playing? Hell, where is the band in this gym?
I know all of you boys and girls are here.
He called this collection of very adult actors boys and girls. These kids look older than Jason Priestley and his peeps in Beverly Hills 90210.
Where she stops, nobody knows.
This game is hella foolish. If you told me somehow you found a way to get two rival gangs under the same roof, and you were hoping for a way to make them fight each other, I would suggest this bullshit here, where the very concept is to force you to dance with someone you don't know or don't like. You might as well spin a loaded handgun on the floor while you're at it. Jesus. God damn it, the dancing is so terrific in this movie, of course I have to give it a few sins off. The music and lyrics are baller, don't get me wrong, but the dancing is absolutely gorgeous. Although, this incredible dance sequence goes on for a long time and never pauses, so did the characters all rehearse this together at some point during the week? I think not. Holy shit. Movie cuts from a circle beginning to form straight to a dancing couple inside a fully formed dance circle without changing camera angles. Slow it down and run it back if you must, but this is a really bad edit in an Oscar-winning movie. Romantic moment, to be sure, but I also can't shake the feeling that the DP got a little too excited after seeing Natalie Wood in this getup and ruined part of his lens. Two people spy each other from across the crowded room, and look, let's just get this out of the way here and now. This is just like Romeo and Juliet, about two idiots that made dumbass decisions in the name of love when that love can at best be described as puppy love or lust or I just discovered I have hormones, who was the first person I see after that discovery. The scene does not contain a fish tank. Oh my, the red and green starlights can be seen on the faces of the dancers, revealing them to be projections from just outside the camera's view. Laser pointers, basically. These two are eye-banging each other so hard right now that I think at least one of them is going to rupture a retina if this scene goes on for much longer. How the did this get this far without either rival gang stepping in? And yeah, they are in some kind of suspended time thing, but I'm still cranky about things.
So beautiful.
Sure, but you don't know yet if she hogs the covers at night or leaves the water running while she brushes her teeth. Think of the issues, man!
I want you for a war council. Jets and sharks.
Being that this is the Jets boss talking to the Sharks boss, it'd be hilarious to me if instead he asked for a war council with some other random gang, like the Possums.
Maria.
That was easy. You reluctantly went to a dance and boom, you're in love. Do you realize how many people are out here on Tinder and Bumble and Grindr and Stumper and Fluffer just desperate for love? And you put down your soda pop crates for one night and find your forever love at a goddamn neighborhood social? I hate you. Tony sucks! Tony sucks! Tony sucks! Ah, yes, New York City. A city that famously sleeps. I don't want to be an asshole here. I really don't, but her bedroom with Joseph's glass doors of many colors is bigger than Monica's bedroom on Friends, Jerry's bedroom on Seinfeld, and it even rivals Frasier's bedroom on Frasier, which is saying something. Also, she has a shelf with 2 snow globes, 3 candles, and a super judgmental statue of the Madonna. How's she supposed to learn about her own sexuality in a room this well lit and judgy?
Sometimes I don't know which is thicker, your skull or your accent.
How Caucasian screenwriters write dialogue for Puerto Rican women. She says, no, leave me alone, and he still hugs her, and yikes. I was late to learn that this incredible performance by Rita Moreno was done under pressured darkening of her skin via makeup. That's terrible. Adding 2 sins for that taking 3 off for Moreno's awesomeness. They're arguing about the pros and cons about America during this song, and it's odd to me that all the women would be on one side and all the men on the other. Like, I understand both points of view, but why would it be gender-based? I love this song and dance as much as the next guy, but the Sharks are supposed to go to a meeting in a little while to discuss a huge turf battle with the Jets. You have to think that a hardened gang leader like Bernardo would be talking to his crew about strategy before they show up, right? Rita Moreno is obviously a national treasure, and her dancing is the focal point of this whole number, but what about this poor lady with the form-fitting skirt, man? I have to admit, I've never danced in anything like that before, but I can't imagine it would be nearly as comfortable as Anita's free-flowing dress. How the does she even move in that thing?
Maria!
Oh, that motherfucker did not come here into her neighborhood yelling her name in his white-ass accent. This is the power of boners defined.
I like it.
And he will like me.
Every overzealous boyfriend in the history of boyfriends. Also, am I wrong, or did these two see each other from across a room, then briefly come together to dance, only to be separated violently? Because the more you deny things to your kids, the more they will gravitate towards those things. They're singing the classic song, Tonight, and it's glorious. I can't lie, but it's also literally just a recap of what just recently happened. It's like me singing, Tonight, tonight, I watched some porn tonight. Are they still singing? Everything about this movie, good and bad, goes on for some time. Forehead foreplay. Headplay? Wait, no, that's something else entirely.
When you come, use the back door.
Oh, man, hey, man, sometimes the sins just literally write themselves. I know I should appreciate this character's performance as a love-stricken puppy dog, so this is cinematic heresy, but he honestly spends the first half of this movie looking like he's being pleasantly flicked in the nuts. Once again, the rabble gang breaks into goddamn song instead of talking about the particulars of the upcoming battle royale. Maybe if the motherfuckers focus for more than 2 seconds, they'd have an easy time establishing their turf and defending it wisely. You didn't see Vito Corleone or Tony Soprano busting out into a dance number when they were about to meet with the other 4 families, did you? During this number's mock trial, the judge sentences the kid to psychiatric evaluation, showing that a bunch of street kids from the early 60s had a better handle on adjudication than the current court system 60 years in the future. I love how they have a loving grandfather-type relationship with this guy when they literally just sang a song about not wanting to be a soda jerk because that equals being a slob. Why does Doc have his store open so late? Seems like he's the only business that's not shut in for the evening, and it's supposedly around midnight. Is this kindly old store owner selling regular candy or that other kind of candy to make ends meet?
Afraid to get in close? Afraid to use plain skin? That ain't a rumble.
Wait, the Jets were talking about a fist fight when they first started planning this turf war, so why are they arguing against doing that now? I'm starting to think these buttocks have as much strategy as our actual military operations. What is it with some bars, shops that hang a f***ing dartboard in the middle of a high-traffic area? You have to walk through the danger zone just to get to at least one of those tables, and I imagine the bathroom is behind the camera, too. They're begging for a brain injury and a massive lawsuit. I'm tired of lazy-ass darts knowledge in film. Isn't a painting of the signing of the Declaration of Independence an odd thing to be hanging on the wall of a soda shop? This shop is selling black licorice sticks for 1 cent, but that has to be a misprint. No one pays for black licorice. You have to pay them to eat it.
What have you been taking tonight? A trip to the moon.
So, LSD? Appreciate the honesty, but maybe it's not the best time to be cleaning the shop. Why did Doc even need Tony to come by and help close the shop? All he did was close a few cabinets, half-ass wiping on the counter, and didn't even turn the f***ing lights off or lock the door. This soda jerk is seriously just a regular jerk, having a halftime in your movie. She sings, I feel pretty, oh so pretty, and yeah you do, but didn't you feel that way already? Sure, young love will heighten your senses of self-esteem and such, but didn't it seem like you were feeling pretty f***ing hot the night before when you were asking your buddy Anita to cut some more cleavage into your dress? Maria's friends sing she isn't in love, she's merely insane, and it's one of the more accurate things anyone says in this movie. Wrinkling perfectly good fabric just to end your song with a flourish, and why don't you respect the merchandise, Maria? They have spent less time together than Padme and her twins, but somehow they're acting like some long-term couple that has weathered storms and are each other's rocks and shit. It's insulting.
Your mama?
She come running from the kitchen to welcome me. She lives in the kitchen.
Ah, the halcyon days of the early 1960s, when civil rights were at the forefront of the conversation, underrepresented populations were gaining respect and power, and women were living in the kitchen. Warms the heart.
Till death do us part.
This line is so on the f***ing nose that the movie should just off this asshole now and save us an hour of runtime. As they sing about their wedding vows, I would like to remind you that when Anita left, no one locked the door, and I'd give back 500 cents if some random dress shopping customer walked in the front door right now during this shit and interrupted them awkwardly. That shit would be hilarious. They couldn't show it back in 1961, but Tony's definitely got some substantial wood right now. We see both gangs readying for the rumble by gathering weapons, something they shook on not doing. Is there no honor left among street tough gangs with a flair for singing and choreography? Damn, how far did the Jets have to walk to this brawl? Seems like they started down in Staten Island, considering how long they've been singing about how they're gonna f*** the Sharks up. This is such an interesting song medley. 2 groups singing about bloodthirsty violence, 2 lovers singing about eloping and holding hands forever, or whatever the f*** they think is gonna happen, and Anita singing about the f*** party she and Bernardo are gonna have later. I love how earlier they said the rumble would be under the highway, but that apparently only means one specific small spot in the entire city.
Ready.
The thought is that it's going to be the best fighter for the Sharks versus the best fighter for the Jets. So why is this even called a rumble? Sure, it will become one, but everyone's been billing it like that before the fight even starts. We need rumble rules, you rugrats.
Move in and shake hands.
Why would one gang's leader get to act as referee? That's absurd.
Hold it!
Tony, you had one job. Maria asked you to stop the fight, and all you had to do was get here before they started. God, there was only a cosmic comeuppance for this character that would happen toward the end of the film. Knives now, eh? This is life or death. You'd think they'd spend more time practicing knife fights than snapping fingers at the basketball courts or singing about cops outside the soda joint. Riff breaks free of Tony and charges Bernardo, arms up in the universal signal for "please stab my abdomen," and Bernardo stabs his abdomen. And the f*** was Riff's plan here? Also, wait, that's the end of the fight? Riff got stabbed with a 2-inch blade in the appendix and he's done for? I'm sure it doesn't feel good, but shit, man, if you're so tough, you could at least bring that blade down on dude's skull for one last shot. I get we're doing Romeo and Juliet here. I get Tony needs to end up dead, but he was adamantly trying to stop the violence. Even in the brief moment he put his fists up, he felt guilt immediately. And he loves Riff, sure, but he hasn't felt part of this gang all movie, and he has Maria to run away with soon. My point is that it's absolutely unbelievable to me that his reaction to Riff getting stabbed after insisting on continuing the fight and charging Bernardo would be to get up and stab Bernardo. Christ! I read the actor wanted to play Tony with more of a street edge than the director wanted, and that interpretation would have at least made this murder make more sense in line with the character.
Maria!
After realizing he's committed first-degree murder, Tony calls out Maria instead of Mama, or Mother of Christ, or even mashed potato. I have to hand it to her. Precoital stretching is not discussed often enough. You don't want to get in there and pull a hammy. She bursts into the bedroom to pray, and those candles were already lit. I understand religion being important to you, but fire hazards don't care if you might pray 8 hours later after you set them in motion. Yeah, man, good call. Breaking and entering into her room in her moment of despair will definitely make up for killing Maria's brother. She beats on his chest, yelling "kill her" for a few seconds. He says 2 sentences, and she falls back into his arms. Look, you do not know this guy. You did know your brother, and you loved him for real. This movie's concept of love kills everything the film has going for it. It's insulting she's hugging him right now and not calling the cops or stabbing him. As he sings, "There's a place for us, somewhere a place for us," I'm happy to remind you that this love song is being sung roughly 30 minutes after the singer did a murder. There's probably blood on his hands, and now on her dress, her brother's blood. But go on with your romantic bullshit, movie. This cool number is the worst song in the movie by far, but it seems like it goes on for 3,000% longer than any other performance, because we've apparently got to cram in as much late 50s teenage lingo into the lyrics as humanly possible.
I'll go wear a skirt.
Oh, I got scabby knees.
This is such a strange exchange, since there are 3 gals among them already, but he is again rejecting the tomboy because she's a girl? Also, "I got scabby knees" is not an excuse a girl who genuinely wants to join the fight and kick some ass would say or care about.
Tony come through for us. We gotta come through for Tony.
Wait, how did Tony come through for them? He tried to break up the fight, thereby getting Riff involved, which is how his ass got killed. Then Tony killed the kingpin of the Sharks, setting loose a revenge plot that could take everyone out. Explain to me how he's helped in any fucking way in this movie. Anita just violently lost her boyfriend tonight, but she's more interested in scolding Maria about who to f***. This movie is a lot weirder than I remembered.
Your brother got into a heavy argument because you danced with the wrong boy.
Is this racist asshole the only fucking cop on this beat? This is New York City, man. There have to be other racist assholes to cover this investigation, right? The Jets are super rude to Anita, given they just saw her boyfriend killed and it was one of their own that did it. Like, even accidental compassion would be nice. This whole thing gets rapey when there is zero reason for it. We're near the end, resolution is nigh, tragedy waits in the wings, but hey, let's make all the Jets disrobe, harass, and sexually threaten this woman to pad the runtime. She came to help. Then they tried to assault her, so she lied and said Chino shot Maria. I can't even blame her. Everyone in this movie except for her, Maria, Tony, and Doc are treasonous, criminal, felonious, shit-eating holes.
Come and get me too, Chino!
Tony's yelling this out into the void of many apartments now, but I assume in New York there are several residents with this name. What happens if all of them show up at the same time looking to beat Tony's ass into the pavement?
Chino!
Didn't the Jets just leave that candy shop a few minutes ago? They couldn't have gotten that far, right? Isn't Tony screaming loud enough that they'd be able to hear and help a brother out? I realize this has to end in tragedy, but Chino has world-class aim with a handgun to be able to shoot Tony and not Maria here. And one shot means he hit a lung, or the heart, or the brain, or the femoral artery. Damn, there are a lot of places in the human body you don't want to get shot in. No one attempts to disarm the one dude with a firearm that just killed their fearless leader. These Jets really suck as bad as the NFL version. Well, now her fingerprints are on the murder weapon, and they're gonna need Perry Mason to get her off the hook. So, Tony's death ended racism? Good for him, but Jesus Christ, this is heavier-handed than the end of Volcano when everyone has the fucking ash all over them. Pasty white scaredy pants puts the black scarf on her head like a veil, and she's all, yeah, okay, this is my life now.
Let's get